thinking through how can we make your life easier, because we always joke that we're actually just lazy and we don't want to do any more work than we have to. So organizing is just setting ourselves up for laziness so that we can, have everything.
I feel like a male Snow White when I do that, because the birds just come and they sit on my hand and I'm one with nature. Feels
Okay,
like
princess.
Disney movie. Why can't I be a princess?
You
Okay.
can, by all means.
Okay, where is this going? Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Real-Tor Talk. Murray, how you doing?
Good, Jesse. How are you today?
Well, from walking from the house to the car, my eyes don't
You didn't
freeze
freeze?
shut.
You didn't stick to the sidewalk.
It's amazing. Hey, I know everybody in Winnipeg is just loving this recent weather, even though we probably have about, 5 more months of winter?
Yeah, well,
It's just a little tease.
The groundhog saw a shadow. So what is that, 6 weeks? 6
Yeah.
weeks of this. Anyway, whether he sees it or not, it's
Yeah.
it's 6 weeks until spring or 6 weeks
Yeah.
of winter. So how's that any different?
I don't know. The puppet, that's what the puppet said to us the other day for groundhog. The one in Quebec, did you hear about that one?
No. What did he do?
You didn't?
No,
So
I
they
didn't.
had the whole press conference ready to go, and all the media was there waiting to see what this groundhog in Quebec, and then they came out and said the groundhog's dead.
They don't use a puppet? Like they use a real groundhog? Like it
died the night before. Yeah.
He saw a shadow and had a heart attack. And
That's crazy, eh?
Anyway,
so yeah, it's exciting that it's warming up right there. It's exciting. Another episode of Real-Tor Talk. We've got Sara from Three Pines organization here today, because when you're stuck inside your house during the wintertime, you look at your house a lot.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And you look at the stuff that you've got
and know where to put it. And
yeah.
you just, the longer you live in your house, the more you build.
Yeah.
So hopefully if you do move, you get rid of some of that stuff and don't take it from house to house. Because then, one day when you leave your inheritance to your kids, you'll open the garage and it'll just be packed top to bottom and say, hey son, this is yours, or hey daughter, this is yours.
Like, thanks dad for leaving me this mess in your garage.
And they'll just literally burn it all.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Try not to take everything with you.
Yeah. So Sarah's going to give us some great tips for organizing your home, and which then in turn organizes your life and just keeps you all happy and stuff like that. So, but yeah, let's talk a little real estate first. A couple weeks ago, interest rates, another change.
Yeah, yay.
But this is supposed to be
the last
one for a
while.
while.
They kind of hinted that in December too. And they gave us another one. So hopefully they steady here and stop doing it. But,
and I think when we had Dimitri on in the last couple episodes, so go back and watch our episodes when we had Dimitri from CIBC there, just talking about what maybe you want to do going into this spring market. And I know this past weekend, I met a lot of people that, haven't done that pre-approval in a while. Yeah. So maybe get a little refresher, because if the rates are going to be held for a little while, at least maybe till May, this might be a good time to talk to your bank and kind of get a refresher. So yeah. And you've seen things starting to pick up out there?
Yeah, it's luckily I had 2 clients luckily be able to get houses after a long search this week and back-to-back days. So that was good and exciting, but it's definitely seen some changes. And if you see stats from January, 15% of houses sold over asking. So it is still happening for houses to sell over asking, but that's a normal thing. Like not every house is going to sell at asking or under asking. Some go over, right? People want the house. They're going to bid it up. So, but I've even found that when people are having open offers, I'm still getting multiple offers on them.
There's still offer dates out there,
right? But even without offer dates, it's still happening. It's been pretty interesting. So, getting a realtor to help you through this is definitely the right thing. So hopefully it's one of us and we can help you guys out.
Sounds good. Okay, well, let's dive deeper into the show here. We always like to support local, whether it's drinking, eating, showing off, the goods that they produce here. So what do we got today, Murray?
Today we have Empty Cups. So I've got us some nitro brews from Empty Cup. So
in the morning, nice.
This is a unique company for Winnipeg. I'm going to say kind of more like a family that's invested in this city. Mark Tallman is the owner of it, and his brother owns TCB Breweries, Trans-Canada Breweries.
Love them.
From what I can tell, I believe it's the dad owns Princess Auto, but anyways, H. Tallman International owns Princess Auto. So they've got a big connection and a big part of this city. So that's huge. The little cafes, they've got 4 locations in the city. They've got one in Sage Creek, one on Panet Road, one on Academy, and then they have one at Pine Ridge Hollow in the village there. Just if you're going to go to the one in the village, please check the hours because they're variable. They just change based on how busy the village is, right?
It's a great time to go to the village with this weather. That
Oh,
you
it's
can
great.
stay outside and you can walk around and get a coffee and stuff. So
yeah, we'll do a spotlight on the village so you guys can get a little peek at that at some point in time. So some of the things that else you can get there, though, they have coffees, they serve the TCB beers, you can get wine or Bailey's, stuff like that. They have a bakery, and all the bakery goods are coming from Bell Baguette in Winnipeg here as well, St. Boniface Bakery. They have a couple sandwiches on the menu, some power bowls, stuff like that. They have vegan options and they have vegetarian options. So
did you go to the Vegan Fest?
I did not go to Vegan Fest.
Okay.
You
should try some vegan stuff from them.
I didn't make, you know what? I started taking vegan protein bars just because.
See?
So there you go.
Baby steps.
Yeah, exactly.
Baby steps.
So I got that. So, and then one of the things that they have that is really good, because I've had it at TCB's, but it's the same thing, the pizza there. So if you want to go have a good pizza, stop at either an Empty Cup or a TCB and check it out. It's fantastic. They're really good.
Well, now I'm hungry. Murray just brought coffee. Why didn't you bring some food too?
Because I'm cheap.
No, absolutely. That's great. And that's why we love, supporting local, because there's so many fantastic things out there. And especially with that family, just to be spread out, not only throughout the whole city, but in different businesses as well.
Yeah. And
right?
yeah, I'm sure you've all been to Princess Auto or have heard of it at least, right? And Trans-Canada Breweries, we've talked about them. So, but it's nice to see that family is invested in Winnipeg.
Yeah.
It's very nice.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for the coffee.
No problem.
I appreciate it. Good way to start the day. What is this called?
Nitro cold brew.
Okay.
So it's kind of the similar idea to having like a Guinness, where the nitro takes a lot of the bubbles out and makes it a smoother drink, right? So,
okay. So it has nothing to do with, it's not like, I'm not going to, by the end of the show, I'm not going to be like, just.
Well, it's got caffeine in it. You might be humming. I don't know. Depends how much caffeine you take into your diet.
We'll see how this show goes.
So,
well, yes. Awesome. So go check them out. And the village. I think that's a really good idea while this weather gets really nice, because you're supporting, you're getting outside, you're doing the walks and stuff like that. And actually, in the month of February, the province has no vehicle permits for a lot of the parks. So again, talking about going outside and walking outside and stuff like that, go check out all the parks.
Go get a coffee at Empty Cup from the village there. Check out the things. And then there's a nice path to get right into Birdsall Park, and you can just go for a nice stroll down one of the trails that are there.
Hold the seeds out. Have you done the seeds?
I don't do the seeds.
You haven't done that?
No.
I think you're the only one on social media that has not filmed themselves feeding the birds at Birdsall. I think everybody has.
There's a thing they say, don't feed the wildlife, because they depend on you to live.
Yeah.
So don't feed birds, guys.
But I feel like a male Snow White when I do that, because the birds just come and they sit on my hand and I'm one with nature. Feels
okay,
like
princess.
Disney movie. Why can't I be a princess? Okay.
You can, by all means.
Okay, where is this going?
This is off topic.
I think it's a great time to bring in our guest, Sara, who has kids herself, like we do, and
we might get a surprise visit from her son during the process here. So we'll see if he pops his head in.
You can ask what his favorite Disney character is. We're gonna let her in?
Yeah, we're gonna let her in.
Welcome
in, Sara. Just take a second here.
And Sara is joining us from New York today. That's amazing. The Big Apple.
Yeah. Well, not technically the Big Apple, but close to it.
Oh, okay. All right. Just the small apple.
The small part of New York. We're out on the eastern end of Long Island, so the Hamptons area.
Oh, nice. Very nice. Very nice. The only connection I have to the Hamptons is when I watch The Real Housewives.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually don't watch it, but I grew up with that. So,
I mean, I've heard of that show. I've heard of the show.
You heard
it every day. So,
I mean, I totally watch it too. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
You are from New York though, right, Sara?
I am, yeah. I grew up out here and sort of moved away as soon as I could, thinking, there's such a big world out there.
You went to a colder place.
I know.
What happened there?
I don't know. It's funny because first I went to Australia. So I went to like the extreme hot that I could find. And then we went to the extreme cold that we could find. And so we're trying to figure out how to meet in the middle.
Happy medium.
Yeah.
Right.
So New York is actually kind of like that. It's got a very mild climate.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, talking about that happy medium, and we're so happy that you are on our show today, talking about organization, and you're from Three Pines organization, which I know I constantly get told at my house that I need a lot of, and I think a lot of people, and I was saying before we joined you, brought you in, especially this time of year, we're inside our homes, we're looking at our belongings, we're looking around at our house, and it can also affect up here as well, too, right?
Yes. Yeah. So my background is actually in psychology. So I went to school because I love people and I love, thinking through how to practically sort of help them. And so when home organizing came along in my life and sort of figuring out how to make it into a career, it's just the most practical way to help people with their mental health, because, instead of just sitting there for an hour and talking, I can actually sort of dialogue with people while I'm helping them put systems into place. So it's been amazing to watch the burden lift off of people's shoulders when they feel organized. So I love it. I love watching that process.
And it's the little things that can go a long way. And like you said, you get to see your clients that being lifted off. I know I laughed at my wife when she said, open this drawer and see this spice rack that I installed. I initially laughed at her, Sarah, but talk about the stress that gets taken out of your life. When you go into the cupboard and your wife is no. Well, I'm so excited about this sport.
And you laughed at her.
Yes, you should have seen how excited.
That is a very common reaction from spouses. So
but like I was saying is when you open up that cupboard and you're looking for the spices and it's falling down on you and stuff like that, it creates a lot of stress. So after I laughed at her excitement of a spice drawer, I then said, I get it. And now I understand, because, and that's what you get, right?
Exactly. It makes your life, like, you don't realize how just a little tweak in your cabinet or your garage, for us Winnipeggers, can make such a huge difference in your life. And I think we start the day frustrated when we don't have the right systems in place, and it affects every part of our day. So like, we're already frustrated at kids, we're already frustrated at our spouse. And so when we can eliminate that frustration, like right away in the morning, the rest of our day can actually go so much better. So that's kind of what our goal is for every home that we're in.
Yeah. So as a professional organizer, help us understand what you do with a client when you enter their home or.
Yeah, so we kind of see anybody and everybody. So some people are just looking for help when they're editing or decluttering their stuff. So they're looking at downsizing or trying to figure out how to live with less. So we sort of come alongside of them in a coaching role where we'll walk through them and we'll talk through sentimental items and all this kind of stuff, and then help them put it together in such a way that's manageable. And then you have the other extreme, which I'm sure you guys see in your industry, where people are looking for the Instagram picture perfect world where everything needs to be coordinated and aesthetically beautiful. So we really do everything in between, whatever our clients are looking for. But most of the time we're seeing young, busy families who are just overwhelmed. They don't have time. And our goal is to set up the system for them. And it's very, it's a very customizable system, so that it's not just a one size fits all. And I think people sort of get caught in that trap with organizing, thinking if everybody else has a filing cabinet, maybe I should have a filing cabinet. So, that's our goal, is to really hear out our clients and hear what their needs are, and then create a system around that. So we get to be really creative, which we love.
And I think what's great is every family, we see that in our industry as well. But what you're doing is you're helping people's that are in different situations. I know Murray, with two older girls, they are maybe a little bit more, independent in the morning. With me, with 4 kids that are a little bit like, there's sometimes some crazy days.
Yeah.
And the smallest things, again, my wife, she loves organizing. She's going to watch this episode. She's going to follow these. She opens up this box and she got the cereal where, like you see at the hotels, where you put down a little handle and like that. Again, I laugh at her because she's so excited about this thing. But how much that changed our mornings from all the boxes left out on the counter, right? And instead, now it's tucked away in our walk-in pantry. You take the bowl, it's zen.
I know, just that one little thing. And so often we find things like kids' dishes, which are high up in a cabinet, and the parents are trying to get their kids to be independent, yet the system is broken down in such a way that the kids can't, so then the parents are frustrated, but it's because the system is not working. So we're always bringing like kids' dishes down and snack drawers, making them accessible for older kids so that they can help pack lunches, so we're always thinking through, how can we make your life easier? Because we always joke that we're actually just lazy and we don't want to do any more work than we have to. So organizing is just setting ourselves up for laziness so that we can, have everything.
That on my kids. Holy, that's like
Yeah.
the most smartest line in the world. That's like,
I use the word lazy to them a lot. But
yeah. So if they want to be really
lazy,
lazy,
set yourself for laziness. That's genius.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to use that.
Well,
Like my wife's much like Jesse's, where everything's got a home, everything. My kids are not that way. My youngest is. My oldest is just like drop and run, and just wherever it lands, someone will pick it up after, right? And that kind of creates a lot of strife in the world. But
and
anyway.
I have 3 kids, and they're all very different. So it's totally, and people too. We work with a lot of people who are ADHD and who struggle to sort of fit in that mold of. And now that so many people are working from home, all of a sudden their work life and their home life have mingled, and they just don't know how to make the system work. So I think that's where, where we get to know the client. And a lot of times we have the kids working with us because a parent thinks all of this should go together. And why aren't the kids putting it away? Because this is Lego and this is whatever. And then you talk to the kid and they're like, actually, I play with these 2 together. This is how I play. So then we create the system around the project for the kids. And then lo and behold, they start to, figure out the system themselves.
I think that's fantastic that you bring up just the topic of ADHD. My youngest child has been diagnosed with ADHD, and with the 3 older kids, their systems are different than his. And with us recently moving and putting in new systems, it has helped his morning out. He's up an hour before everybody else, and with those things like I mentioned, the cereal and this and that, it helps him start off and have a successful start to his day. And I know that there are a lot of people that, that have ADHD, and, their thing is, their lives are a little bit different. So I love how that wall is being, pushed down, and the organizing part of people's lives is just helping them. And it's okay to, ask for help and get help and stuff like that. So that's cool.
Yeah. And I think our generation is, we are so much more used to outsourcing than previous generations. So I think there's a lot of expectation on, what I see is women and moms, that we have to sort of have everything correct and perfect. And it's impossible. You can't have a beautiful home and have a great career and have, be going to spin class 4 times a week. So I think we're seeing that outsourcing some of these things like organizing is acceptable now. Even if older generations still struggle to pay for, like, you should figure out how to do that yourself. Our generation is seeing like, no, we actually can't do it all. Like, it's not possible.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's a lot different now too, because most families are dual careers. And where, growing up, my parents both had jobs, but I mean, reality is that they probably could have made it without it. And exactly. Are working, and daycare is involved, and after school activity and all this craziness, right? That you're running. I mean, still, like, even with my 2 daughters, being older, we still run nonstop to activities with them. We want to be there, right? So it's like, hey, this has to wait because we're going over here.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I think it's amazing that our generation, especially dads, are super involved with parenting, but that also means like a lot of the things like fixing up your garage, you can't spend 8 hours on Saturday doing that. So that's where we come in.
And around a golfing. So
right.
The garage.
So let's dive into it. So somebody out there is watching the show and they're getting interested in, maybe reaching out to you and stuff like that. Now, so it can be overwhelming. But let's talk about your services a little bit. Can I call you, if I'm just, hey, my pantry, or is it only I need my whole house, or how do you break it down?
Yeah. So like I said, we have we see anybody and everybody. We have a team of 5 of us. And so our girls all kind of specialize in different things. So one of our team is so great with older people, and she makes them, she disarms them right away. She makes them laugh. And so we send her to our elderly who are just looking for a little bit of extra help, and they need some, physically they can't carry things to the thrift store. So we start our sessions at 4 hours, because sometimes people really can't handle physically and mentally, they can't go much farther than that. So we call those our mini sessions. And one organizer will just be with a client one-on-one for 4 hours. And then our whole team will go, there's all 4 of us in a basement for 7 hours, and we're completely transforming a space. We just did an office space for the CEO of Cranked Energy, and she came to us looking for a brand new home office. And so we picked out everything from the paint color, the wallpaper, to the storage. So we often get like, I just need help in my closet. But what happens is they get addicted to the organizing. And they're like, well, now this is not as good as everything else, so we need to come back and do this. So yeah, it's a habit that kind of keeps on going.
It's creating kind of a fun organizing monster in a way. You kind of get addicted. Yeah, like I said, from one package my wife got, then it got more and more and more.
Once the efficiency sets in, you're like, hey, yeah, this makes sense. I want to keep going.
Yes.
Once you finally buy into it and admit that maybe the word was lazy, or you just don't have it, that you just don't know how to organize certain areas or certain parts of your life.
Right.
And you're starting to breathe a lot easier, and then you're like, but I want more,
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And I think because like we said, so many people are working, when you get home, you don't want to spend that creative energy figuring out where your popsicle sticks should go in the kitchen. Yeah. So because we are always thinking through those, we know how a kitchen or a master closet should function. Our clients don't need to make those decisions. We already have that made for them. And that's where we see the relief come in. Sometimes people are just like, they just want to be told what to do because they're so tired of deciding, because you're at work all day making those decisions. So to come home and try to do that with kids biting at your heels is virtually impossible.
Yeah.
For sure. Is there like a most common thing people come to you for, or is it kind of just so widely spread that it's...
Yeah, I would say kitchens and pantries are probably the most popular. As far as the sex goes, that's the heart of the home. Really, when we're helping people unpack, which is a lot of the times what we do with our Real-Tor services, is we help our clients who are moving, we help them unpack, and the kitchen is the first place. Because if that's functional, the rest of the house can really come together easier. But over COVID, we've seen a huge influx in home office spaces, and that's been really fun for us. Mm-hmm. So people have just started working from home, obviously, a lot more. And they used to have an office manager, and now they don't. So what do they do with all those files? So we've been doing that a lot more. And then obviously basements are a huge headache because they are just a drop zone for anything and everything. So we do a lot of storage rooms. But that would be our top 3 for sure.
It's a lot of those, like, the pantries, which, nowadays with a lot of newer homes, there's a door that can close, laundry rooms that can close, basements you might not use them. So those are the areas that it's just like, if I just drop this in there and I close the door, it's not messy because I can't see it.
Yeah.
And so I think it's nice to leave doors open, because then you can always kind of see, and it kind of motivates you. You got to get this clean because of you, right?
And even if you do have a door, I had one client, we did her pantry, and she said, I just keep standing here looking at it with the door open because it's so beautiful. So we're always like, of course we want to make it function, but also when a system is beautiful and nice to look at, like, you actually want to use it. And in particular for kids, they're used to these systems at school, so it's not like they can't get on board. But if you make it fun and engaging for them, like, they will put their, that's the goal. That they'll put it away. We still fight about it with our kids. It's not like it's magic, but they're used to the routine of it.
You mentioned unpacking services. So kind of when someone moves into the house, what's that entail for you guys?
Yeah, so we sort of call it our what do we call it? We just came up with a really clever word for it, and now I can't think of it. But basically, we are sort of the management side of the moving. So our team helps them pack, and then we obviously know what's gone inside the boxes. We've decluttered with them first, so then when we're unpacking, we know exactly where things are going to go, because we sort of already seen the kitchen because we were in their old kitchen, and then all of the storage items that they need, we've already got that ready to go. So then their kitchen is set up just like the boxes aren't sitting in the basement for the next 8 years. Everything has been unpacked. And so we find that is some of the best investment that we tell our clients to put in your closing costs is to get an organizer, because you can actually move in, fully. And it feels so good to be settled. So, we kind of do as much or as little as our clients need in that part of the process. And then also we find for a lot of our women clients, they've been with so many contractors who are mostly guys. So it's nice to have our girl team advocating for them and telling the movers where to go and telling them to be careful so that they don't have to do it. So, we love being our clients sort of like a general contractor when they're moving. It's nice.
Okay, so Sarah, I've got a question then for you.
Yeah.
I've moved 16 times in my life.
There's no saving you.
You're a professional mover then.
Well, here's the thing though, because you said helping unpack and everything like that. So we just moved in August.
Okay.
Do you know where my KitchenAid mixer is? Can you help us find it?
Did you save the box? That's what I want to know.
I don't know what box it's in.
Just to label the box. Jesse, we moved. So check.
There's no box. There's no box.
My wife had our last move like organized to the T. We moved into our home on December 22nd, and the Christmas tree was up on December 22nd, decorated and complete, and everything was fine.
That's good.
That is intense.
She's very, very,
we do the color coding. So when we're in the kitchen, like we have red labels or red packing tape, so that our movers or whoever we're working with, it's very clear where these boxes go. And when you're packing, especially if you've done it 16 times, there's a point where you're like, this box has followed us for the last 8 years, and we have not unpacked it at any house that we've moved into. So I'm guessing your KitchenAid is in there, in that box.
Yeah, I don't know what it's that big black. The big black KitchenAid.
Yeah.
Who is that? I don't know where it is. I don't know.
We find all manner of things.
You forgot to pack it.
No, it's the move. And you know what? It's interesting because, and I'm glad that you guys offer those services and give those tips and stuff like that, because I will admit, even being a realtor after 7 years and helping people move and moving as many times as I can, it was not fun. The moving company, it had a lot of ups and downs, and that day turned out really bad. And just the color coordinating. If you could just easily say to the movers, this is the blue area.
Yeah.
Blue, go in there.
Yeah.
It would save a lot of.
We actually give them a map so that it's like, there is no question. This is the blue dot room. This is the pink dot room. The kitchen is this color. And I think that's, we go back to that decision fatigue again. When you're moving, forget it, that your brain is done. And you're kind of at that point like, I just don't care. And we're like, well, we care. So we're going to tell them where that's going to go.
No, absolutely. Quickly before we let you go, I don't know, correct me if I could keep talking to you for another half an hour. Yeah. We're going to have to get you back again, Sarah. This was fantastic.
I would love it.
Before you go, going into spring, or we're going to all follow you on Instagram and stuff like that, and you got great content out there. What is like one big thing? What's a big trending thing right now of people like organizing right now going into spring?
What's it like trending thing? Well, everybody's loving that, I guess it's called ASMR, right? Where you're like, that's like what everyone wants to watch on TikTok.
Yes.
And I would say, as wonderful as that is, don't just go and buy yourself more stuff that you're not going to use. Clutter up. You're beautiful, and I think we see, that's where I'm like, if you want something like a system like that, please just call someone to help you put it together. But as we go into spring, I think we start to feel that overwhelm of like, the world is coming down on us and we have to get outside and we feel overwhelmed. And I always say, like, just start small and somewhere manageable. So don't start more projects than you can actually accomplish. Don't say you're going to do the entire basement in a weekend. Like, let's just start with a drawer and see how you get. And then, because that will motivate you. But if you set these huge goals that you actually can't tackle on your own, it's even more frustrating and you won't start. So just start. And we always say like the utensil drawer has usually no sentimentality. So start in that utensil drawer, figure out what to do with the potato masher so it doesn't drive you insane, and then keep going. But finish your project before you start another one.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. Fantastic.
Yeah. This was, way above beyond.
This was great.
Right up.
And I know we said earlier, just before you go, you're in New York right now, but here in Winnipeg, we can contact you. You can help us.
Yes. Yeah, no, we're just here for my husband sent me away. He's like, go be with your family and not see snow for a few weeks.
I was going to ask you, what's the mileage cost if I got to drive you in from New York? I was like, woo.
No, it's funny. I am doing some work here. I'm taking some clients, and I'm doing a beautiful brownstone in Brooklyn next week. I am so excited. But my team is amazing, and they are still working on lots of projects. And then now we're booking into March, getting ready for the spring, whatever comes our way, whether it's winter for 6 more weeks, we all are feeling it. So we're ready. So excellent. Give us a call.
Well, excellent. Thanks again so much, Sarah.
Yeah, so great to meet you guys.
I can't wait to tackle my drawer this weekend. Hey,
right?
Just one drawer. I'm going to tell my wife, just one.
Just one drawer. Just one drawer.
You got to post it after.
Yes, please do. Post it after. Absolutely. And if you need the right products, just let me know.
Absolutely, we will. All right, take care. There, Sarah.
Okay.
Thanks, sir.
Nice to meet you guys.
Nice to meet you. Bye.
Take care. Bye.
I think one thing that, Sarah, that I agree with is, and I know I mentioned this when we have listing meetings and have people that are bringing us into their homes, a couple months before. It's doing that one room at a time.
Yeah.
If you automatically think too much, you're exhausted already.
Done. Yeah, and you won't tackle it.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Small steps in this world.
Baby
for
steps,
sure.
Absolutely.
For sure. And I did like the part about the organization promotes laziness. So I'm using that on my kids now.
You're going home to use that. Hashtag it. Hashtag it. Is that what they do?
I don't know. You and your weird symbols.
I know. I was told today. You said you're going to go on TikTok with this show. My kids are not allowing me to go on TikTok.
Well, mine don't want me to go on TikTok. But we're trying to promote our show, so we're going to go on TikTok.
So watch out when we do the robot. Not anymore.
No, I don't know.
Anyways, all right. Thanks very much for joining us. We're going to give you guys all that contact information in the description below, so you can contact Sarah. Because going into the the springtime, whether you're looking to move or not, whether you want to contact us, we can link you up with Sarah as well. Because at the end of the day, if you go to sell your home, open those rooms up. Make them feel nice and big. Allow the buyers to envision their own things in there. And organization, it will wow buyers that it excites them that they're interested in that home. If they see how well your home is organized. So absolutely.
It's very good.
Good stuff.
That was definitely a good podcast.
It was a fantastic.
So,
yes. And thank you.
I thank you guys for watching. And Jesse's going to be humming all afternoon on his coffee. So thank you, Empty Cup, for promoting that and wiring Jesse up. He's got a busy day, so it'll be good. So, okay, guys, thanks. Have a great week. Take care, and we'll see you soon.
See you guys.